Well met, ladies and gentlemen of BookTube. My name is Indy and today I'm here to discuss a very Feyrelicious book that is A Court of Mist and Fury by Sarah J. Maas. Was that a good fairy impression? I've put in some beautiful blue eye contacts to make myself look more Fey-like today, so I hope it works, and I'm wearing some nice makeup of the High Court, I hope as well. So, I am prepared. But anyway, as I said, I am here today to discuss the book that is A Court of Mist and Fury. The second book in the A Court of Thornes and Roses, like, trilogy by Sarah J. Maas, so I'm very excited to discuss this amazing book. So much happened. The end, oh my god, was killer. What? So much went down. It was insane. Let's get on to talking about this book. So non-spoilery wise, this is an amazing second series by Sarah J. Maas, and I said this was the second book. So if you haven't read A Court of Thornes and Roses, you should definitely do that. This book is high fantasy. We got Fae, we got kingdoms and courts and amazing Fae powers and all sorts of high fantasy amazing stuff. Such a complex world as usual by Sarah J. Maas. Like, even it like boggles me. I like struggle so hardcore sometimes to like remember what happened, but this book was such a good sequel. It did not have any sort of slump. A little bit for me, but it just took me a little bit to get into it, but as I said, because of the complex world, I was a bit like, I can't remember what happened, but it was so good, and I love, this is my stuff. Kingdom, high fantasy sort of thing is my favorite type of genre, so definitely if you love fantasy, you should read this and Throne of Glass because that's also amazing as well. Description wise, this series starts off in A Court of Thornes and Roses with Feyre, who is a huntress, and basically it is a sort of really awesome, loosely based retelling of Beauty, and it's pretty epic. It's so cool. I'm not sure what this one is based off of. I believe it's supposed to be based off some sort of story, and I kind of grasp it with some things, but I don't know what story it is. So if you do know what story, like, please comment down below what story this is if you've read it. But other than that, I don't really have too many other non-spoileries to discuss, so I'm gonna get into some details now. So if you haven't read it, buy non-spoileries, and I will see you again here soon once you've read the book, because that's a must. Bye! All right, I don't even know where to start. I guess we'll just start at the very beginning because we can come to that explosive end later on. But at first, I wasn't really into this book. I don't know what it was. I think it was because it was a slow starting, but it's because of the events of the last book that left us sort of a bit empty inside. So I didn't like that Tamlin was controlling Feyre and not letting her go anywhere. He was just like, no, stay in the house, like, we can't use your powers because everyone will find out and they'll want to come and eat us all. So it was really, really sad that he just sort of didn't really care about her, and he was just like, well, you can just stay here because we need to protect you. But it was, oh, so boring. I was like, Tamlin, stop being a dick. I was a Rhysand shipper all along, and I found out it's Rhysand, not Rhysand, so I've accepted that fact, and I was right. Yes. But yes, I was team Rhysand. I never liked Tamlin. I liked Lucien a bit, but I also don't care about Lucien now either. Really that much. Like, more than Tamlin, but I still don't. Lucien's like, eh. Other people. There's better people and characters now. I was sad she couldn't go visit her family over the wall because, again, Tamlin was like, no. And I was like, oh my god, she's so close. Like, it's not as if they're up the top where the Night Court are. They are literally, like, just below this wall, but I know it's not safe to do so, but I was like, no, so boring. And there was a lot of, like, sex straight out in this book. I was like, shit, this is like new adult. This is no like young adult bull hockey. And I love that Sarah has a bit more of a new adult sense and her characters are a bit older. I really love that about her, both book series in this case. I don't know, I just love it a bit more, just to have a bit more intensity and just to have older characters. It's just, I identify with it so much more, and I just really love it. But yes, this was like some new adult business, which I was totally okay about. I loved all of the sex scenes, but we'll come to a few of those later on, but man, it was a steam fest in this book. So as the book begins, basically her and Tamlin are gonna get married, and we have the High Priestess Ianthe. I didn't trust that bitch straight out. I was like, nah, something's going on here, and I want to learn more about the 13 or 12 other priestesses that are in this collection. I think that's a really interesting thing I want to delve into a little bit more. I felt like kind of Silent Brothers kind of feeling from it, and I want to know a little bit more and see if we meet a few other ones here and there. Feyre. But yeah, I didn't trust her at all. She was just way happy. She was just a happy person, and I don't know, didn't trust her, and I had a reason not to trust her, so I feel good about that. Just as we come to the wedding, I was like, no, I don't want this wedding to happen, because Feyre was having some real PTSD moments, and I even like noted that down. Like everything was setting her off, especially being confined to the house, like colors, different items and things was setting her off, and I was like, oh god, oh god, oh god. But when she was calling out into like, someone help me, I was like, what's gonna happen here? And I was like, I didn't know what to think was gonna happen. And then Rhys showed up and I was so happy. I was like, yes, Rhys, save her. I was so excited, and he was like, I've come to do my bargain, let's go. And I was also feeling a little conflicted in the beginning about Rhys and Feyre's relationship. Usually I don't mind the idea of them going off to someone else, but I think it was the fact that, it's gonna make me sound really like probably prudish, but the fact that she was getting married to Tamlin makes me feel really like I didn't want to ship Feyre and Rhys in the beginning, because I was like, it's one thing to be dating someone and then, you know, go and date someone else, but the fact that she was getting married to him was like, oh, this is like taboo. I don't know, I just felt really uncomfortable at first. I was like, I don't like her and Tamlin, but I feel guilty being her and Rhys. So Rhys has come in to take his effect on Feyre, and they're doing their once a week thing, and I really loved it. I loved them sending letters to each other. It was super cute, and there was some like full-on sexual tension in some of those notes, and I don't know, I love that he was trying to help her. He was like, try and use your powers, I'll teach you to read, all these sorts of things. And at first we were a bit, you know, Feyre wasn't too into it because she didn't really have a reason to trust Rhys, and we've seen him be a dickhead in the past, but he's such a sensitive character. Oh my god. So Rhys did so many things that we didn't know about, and I actually really want to go back and read a quote of Thornes and Roses. He's such a different person on the inside. He lets out such an aura of being a dickhead, like the High Lord of the Night Court, being all like, I'm so cool, putting up such a front, but he's such a lovely person on the inside. The story though, the story of everything he ever did for Feyre, it hurt my soul. It was so beautiful. I remember I was having a really long, nice hot bath, and I was just sitting there being like, what? The way that he let her have her breather, and he knew they were mates so early on. The way he had a connection with her even before the book started. It was just so much, so much. And he acted like such a dickhead to save her from all of these things, and it was just such a beautiful story. And even the story about the Weaver, that was a bit ridiculous. I didn't like that too much, the whole shit to go and get an item, a dark item from the Weaver, and it ended up being his mother's ring. In the end, when we heard that story, I was like, that's so beautiful. We knew that she was gonna get that ring somehow, like, didn't we? Didn't we? But I love Rhys anyway, more than I did before. It is full-on Rhys City up in here, and I'm very excited about that. So in the middle of this book, we had a lot of information to process. The idea of the cauldron. Okay, alright. This was like a lot to handle, because we went to the prison. We found out from the little weird kid, aka the bone carver, about the cauldron, and there's just so much crazy magic that's going on in this world. So Highburn, the other fairy sort of place other than to the right hand side of us in Pyrinth or Perinthian or whatever, they have such a long history and a big story that I can't remember too well, but basically they want to conquer back there and conquer back the mortal lands again. And this cauldron idea is a really cool idea, but it's a very complicated storyline. So basically the king of Highburn built the cauldron, and he can use its power to like freaking destroy everything. So we need to get 2 pieces of the Book of Breathings and bring them together. And it was such a complicated thing, because not only did the Summer Court have one, the Mortal Lands had one. And speaking of the Summer Court and the Mortal Lands, I want to talk more about that. But Tarquin, man, oi! I didn't like him at all. I kept thinking of him as like Prince Oberon, but like creepier and older. But yeah, he was like trying to get it on with Feyre so hardcore, and I was like, oh god, is she going to oblige to like get this book? And then there was like some heated sexual tension between Rhys and Cressida and Feyre. She was like, oh hell. She was like super worried about that, and I was like, wait. Like the whole book was such a lead up. but I had a note that said at 285, I was like, come on, I'm waiting for Rhysand to happen, it has to happen. No, it didn't happen for another like 200 pages, so I was getting impatient. But yeah, the whole summer court thing was really interesting. I didn't like it, and I don't know if we're gonna have to mend ties with him after they sent the blood rubies that were like, we're gonna kill you. So I don't know if we're gonna have to band together as a whole court system at all throughout the next book, but I guess we will see. Also, the Mortal Queens. Okay, I really didn't think there was anything sus going on other than the last queen didn't show up. There was a note saying, oh, like the last queen wasn't actually sick, but I don't know, I just thought they were just being a bit like suspicious, as you would be. Like if we were fighting against some stronger, crazy Fey people, yeah, we would not be impressed either, and we were pretty shut off. But I didn't really consider that they were gonna actually work with Highburn. I was like, really? Really? Oh, I hate them. And also I hated that we had to reveal Valaris and then like the book was left there anyway, but one of the queens, I was like, God damn it, we've ruined everything by telling them about Valaris. Rah. So we get to see Feyre's sisters again, and that was really cool. I liked that we had this sort of interesting relationship between Cassian and Nesta. I really want something to go on there. Seriously though, seriously, that's what I really want. The same with Azriel, which I called him Azriel the whole time. I would like to see him something happen with more, but that one's not such a big deal. Like I'm happy with them being friends because they're part of Rhys's court and they're cool. Emma was so interesting. I don't know what she is, but she's some powerful Mrs. Cool, very old being, and I'm interested to see if we find out more about her, but it's not like my main focus to find out more about her. But I like that his second in command is a woman. I was like, yes, but that's also like classic, like not dickhead male, which he puts up the persona of. So I was like, alright, there's a little crack there. But no, I loved his whole court. I loved the dinner that they had at Valaris, and like you could just tell his whole group of friends were all like cynical and humorous and ridiculous as he was. So it was really great to see his band of friends, and I just really love them as a whole, all of them together, and it's just such a great court. I love it so much. And even Valaris itself sounds beautiful. The idea that Rhys is so powerful that he can cloak a whole city and he did it for the good of his people, I was like, damn, there he is, perfect man again showing up. I was like, whoa, he's got some serious power. And the idea also that you have to use little bits of power or else you go crazy, I was like, hey, that sounds like Lunar Chronicles. That's the same similar concept. They don't use their bioelectricity powers, they go crazy, aka winter, which I haven't read yet, but I'm going to. There were so many beautiful scenes in this book. The night of the Starfall was beautiful. I like that they went on sort of like, not a date, but like a group sort of thing where they went to dinner and dancing, and I thought this was such like a modern thing to do. It was really weird for like a kingdom fantasy type book to have sort of a scene like that, but I know the beautiful city of Valaris is, it kind of makes me think of like Venice or somewhere in Europe, some like cute little town like that is just gorgeous markets and just beautiful things. And I will tell you soon when I get to go to Europe, so I could be completely off. Let's talk about Feyre's powers. So as we know, she was reborn as a High Fae, and she now has the powers of the 7 Lords. So we did quite a lot of exploring with this, but I want to know a bit further because I'm still a little confused on what powers she has and what she doesn't. It's a little unclear. So she has Tamlin's shapeshifting. She has the Summer Court powers. She can winnow, which is Rhys's power. She can summon darkness, which is Rhys's power. She can be a bloody star and shine bright. Do ice, she do fire. I'm all very confused with what court is what. I need like a little map of like how this all works together, but it's very cool. I want to explore way more into her powers, and I suspect she's going to be like a powerhouse next book. I really want her to learn to winnow a lot more because this was a big part of the book. Winnowing was literally how they got anywhere, to houses, to places fast, and I assume it's kind of like apparition, or is it that they use their wings? I'm a little confused on exactly how it works. I thought it was kind of like apparition, but I know they also do a lot of flying, but like I was thinking about how awkward that would have been, like Rhys with his wings out and his arms like holding Feyre, and she's just like hey, like it's just a little weird to me to think about them holding each other like that, but that's how they did it. I'm also sad to see that Cassian has lost his wings, and I don't know how he's gonna deal with that in the next book. It's gonna be a really horrible time, and especially with him being an Illyrian warrior, that they love their wings so much, and the idea of these Illyrian warriors. I want to talk about this as well. They are like a special band of warriors that have wings, and I don't know. Again, another Game of Thrones reference. I feel like it's like The Wall wall? The guards of the wall. The Night's Watch, that's it. I feel like they're kind of like the Night's Watch. I don't know why I get this like feeling when I'm reading it, but I just do. I just imagine it like a camp just like that. And they're like guardians and they've got wings. I don't know, that's how I imagine it. It's really weird. And everyone always talks about having a clear image of all the characters, and I really don't have one. Everyone's like, oh, I picture this and so, and I don't have one. Everyone just doesn't have a particular look, and that's okay with me. So let's talk about the big point at the end. We get over to there and we are powered up. We are going to stop this cauldron, and I could tell something sus was going on because there was not too many pages left in the book, and also plans never go right in Sarah's books. And I was like, oh, I was nervous, and then good old Jurian comes along, which I didn't like the storyline of Jurian too much. I didn't understand what was going on really. I think he used to be a human, then I can't remember, he was in a relationship with Amantha, and then he betrayed her and killed people. I'm very confused what happened. I just didn't care about him at all. I could not believe it when Tamlin and Lucien walked in. I was like, no! Why? Why? I lost it. I was like, no! I was sitting there just silently yelling at the book. I was like, no. Why would you do this? Like, you're so desperate to get Feyre back that you would bother to go to the arch enemies. Like, oh, I was like, no, such a dumb move. No, I was not impressed. I don't know what it is about these spring court men, but they just Feyre. They just want Feyre. They're just like, Feyre, come here. I'm like, stop. Just go away, spring court. We don't care about you. Mostly just Tamlin. We don't care about Tamlin is mostly the problem. Lucien's like, it's okay, but no, it's so dumb. I was like, what are you doing? What are you doing? So I don't know how it's all gonna go down with that now, but it was a shocker. The bond breaking though. I was like, shit, what? How does he have the power for that? But I didn't know how powerful the cauldron was, and I thought it was serious. Like, I was like, what? I was like, no, they have to be able to talk to each other through their brains. It's like my favorite thing ever, other than sending notes. And I was like, why? I knew she was putting on the act, obviously, but I was like, no! Like, are you seriously gonna try and break this now? But, oh my god. Oh my god, I loved when we got to Rhys's and he was like, ha ha, ha ha, we just broke the tattoo on her arm that was for our bind. Jokes, the other tattoo was hidden with a glamour. We's married, she's my high lady, and now she's a spy. I was like, it's not over. It's the best outcome that I could never ever picked. Like, I did not see any of that coming. I didn't see Tamlin and Lucien betraying us. I did not see that we were going to break the bond, but it was actually all a joke. And I was so worried that Rhys's friends weren't going to be on board with what was happening, that she was like playing along saying like, take me home, Tamlin, oh my god. I was like, oh shit, something's gonna happen. I was so worried. I was like, no, let the ruse happen, let it happen. And thankfully it did. But whoa, I did not expect that. And I'm very concerned about how it seems Lucien knows what's going on. He doesn't believe Feyre, so I don't know how it's all gonna go in the next book. But I'm super pumped for the next book. Although by the time this time comes around next year, I'll just be like, But like, I really would love to have it now more than having to wait a year, because I feel like I won't be super excited by then. But I'm definitely looking forward to how this all ends, what we're gonna do with if we're gonna keep the fairies and the mortal lands separate, how Feyre is gonna do at the spring court, how she's going to stop sexual advances by Tamlin. I'm very interested to see what she does there, if she's just gonna like go along with it or just be like, no. Like, I just don't know how it's gonna go, and I'm so excited to see how all that sexy time is gonna go with that. And I'm really sad that they're gonna be separated. I assume that we're still going to get the two separate parts, like Feyre chapters and Rhysand, which isn't my favorite thing ever, but it's okay, because I'm sure it'll come together in the end and it's gonna be amazing. I'm just scared at the prospect of the next book being like 800 pages, but I'm looking forward to it at the same time because we need a lot of in-depth, but I'm terrified at how large it's gonna be at the same time. Anyway, that is all of my thoughts and feels on Economist in Theory by Sarah J. Maas. Thanks so much for watching. This has been a very long video, and I will see you in my next video. Bye! All blue everything. Blue book, blue eyes, blue makeup. It's all happening. Blue book, blah 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 blah. Blue bookshelf, blue bookshelf. It's a blues party up in here, which is appropriate for the Ninth Court. Yes. In the oh my god, what story is it based off of? Beauty and the Beast? Oh yeah, whatever they are, the Sun Spears or whatever. Don't remember now. Oh god, what's his name? Is Ariel? Is it Bowers? No.